This video is sponsored by SimpliSafe. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. I bought this four-wheeler at the beginning of summer for $100. And I know nothing about this four-wheeler. I barely know what it is. It says Moto 4 on the mud flaps, but it also looks like it says Big Bear. Yeah, Big Bear. You can barely make it out. And that's how I know it's a 350. And how did I know it's a Yamaha? Oh yeah, because it says Yamaha right here. This four-wheeler, along with all of the other stuff sitting on this property, has been here a very long time, and the owner has no idea if it ran at all. He said he got it in on a trade. He said it never ran before. He didn't really try to get it running. That's froze up. Luckily it's stuck in high. But today we're gonna try to get this thing running. I'm gonna get this thing roadworthy enough to drive back 30 minutes to my house, which is probably gonna be a job. Right off the bat, I can tell the throttle cable is completely froze up on it. Even the start button is froze up. Headlights work. This has been disconnected. We have a random button here that somebody added in. I wonder what that goes to. Thankfully, it does actually have a key switch. Hopefully, we can get it to turn. Okay, we can get it to turn, so that's really good. There's a vine growing out of it. We'll just have to take that with us if we get it running. Gas. Probably don't have no gas in it. We ain't got no gas in it. Now, I did bring some fresh fuel. We have a brand new battery, and we have a couple boxes full of parts that I may need. This whole refresh kit was pretty cheap off Amazon, so I went ahead and bought it. What the heck is this? We also have a brand new carburetor in case we run into carburetor issues. Let's go ahead and take this seat off. Oh. Oh my gosh. We don't even have an air filter in here. No air filter. No nothing. We're gonna have to get all this crap out of here. And all of the surrounding garbage. Obviously, we don't have a lid. It'd be nice if we had a lid at least. No filter, no nothing. The air box is fairly clean, but I think we're missing some kind of like filter holder. I wonder if that's what this is. It is very possible that that's what this is right here. No, yeah. Is that it? No way. I never get this lucky. Yeah, I think that's the filter holder. Now I just need to put a new filter on here, but that thing's nasty though. Let's see what our oil level's looking like. I'll feel a lot better about this if we have any kind of oil in here. Yeah, we have oil and it's kind of clean looking. Our battery situation is not looking the best. It seems like, is this where the battery usually goes in these things? It seems like an odd place to put a battery. However, the bottom of the battery box has been completely cut out for whatever reason. I need to find out which one of these are what the heck? Okay, I know that's not factory. I promise you that is not factory. That is not ideally where you would put a solenoid, right where mud is gonna get all over it. I bet that's why we have a switch up here. Yeah. So maybe this quit working a long time ago. They just replaced it with their own switch. Let's hook her up to some power and see what she does. Battery's connected. I'm gonna see if we can get anything out of this. We got a light lighting up. No freaking way. Shoot, yeah boy. I figured this thing was gonna be locked up, to be honest. Because I'm a little excited, let's just see if it'll hit off some starting fluid. It was running. It was running off starting fluid. It took a while for it to suck it all up in there, but it did it. I'm gonna fill this thing up with some gas. That smells like varnish. Let's fill this thing up with gas and see if we can just get it to run off gas. Now keep in mind, the owner said he had never heard this thing run, and he said it's probably been back here 15, 20 years. I said, well, did the guy that traded you ever have it running? He said, I don't know. As you can tell, with all the parts I brought for backup, I thought this thing would probably be a fight. Don't need to get too excited yet. We still don't know how it's gonna ride. We should have plenty of fuel in there now. Dang it. I don't think we're getting any fuel. Oh, I wonder if the fuel's turned off. The fuel tank was on reserve. I'm gonna turn it to on, and maybe that'll fix our problem. It almost sounds like it starts as soon as you hit the starter switch. Well, plan B. Figure out what the heck's going wrong, why it won't run. We got fuel. We clearly have spark because it's running a little bit. This fuel line right here is what feeds fuel into this carburetor, and I'm curious to see if we're getting anything out of it. Oh yeah, it's getting fuel. Not very clean fuel. Golly. And looks like we're probably not. I mean, look, we're not getting nothing. That's not enough to run an engine. Yeah, let's take this carburetor off of here. And I may just put that new carburetor in here. This vent hose here isn't even connected to anything. So we can get this out of the way. We got rat turds inside of the carburetor where they've run up into this air box, into the hose, right into the carburetor. And this thing looks pretty terrible on the inside. There's all kinds of green from corrosion. Because we already plan on replacing the throttle cable since it's locked up, we're gonna go ahead and remove the throttle cable so that we can pull all of this out together. Oh, look at all the ants. Whole bunch of ants in there. And just like that, deceased. All right, there's our old carburetor. Rusty, got some green in there from oxidation. The heck? So the throttle cable goes into this little box and then it turns into two cables. Wonder what that's all about. The new throttle cable seems to be the same size as the other throttle cable with the box included, so I'm just gonna run this like it's by itself and it'll probably be fine. There we go. I'm starting to think this throttle cable is a little bit too short because this is supposed to be down here. I could be wrong, but that should probably be about closed. We'll just have to see. So on the other carburetor, this should be idle, and with the new throttle cable installed, this is all the way up here. It has to sit down here because that's your idler screw. This is how you adjust your idle. You screw this in and it gives it a little bit more throttle. Well, we're stuck all the way up here, and I don't think there's much adjustment we can do. All 3 adjustments are maxed out, and we are still pretty high idle right there. Hopefully this will get us home. What I may have to do is cut a little bit off of this nut here when I get home without nicking the cable, and we may be able to fix that, but that's going to be a pretty dang high idle, I can tell you that right now. This is not the right size line at all. Oh yeah. And it's working, heck yeah. This is a brand new fuel filter. Dang, it already got dirt in it just from turning it on. Now I just need to make it go here. Maybe that vacuum will suck some fuel in. Let's see how she runs the starting fluid at least. Now I told y'all that idle was pretty high, really high idle. I may have to modify that cable sooner than later. Alright guys, we're back. We have our completely destroyed throttle cable, and on top of that I did a little field upgrade and cut the threads off of this little tube that the throttle cable slides into, and my little field upgrade worked. We are perfectly at idle now. Alright, let's see how it runs now. Oh, it may have run out of gas. Yes sir, yes sir, she's running good. Wow, this thing runs like it's brand new. So I tried jamming this button in with a hammer and it actually broke the button off. So this we're just stuck in high for sure. Let's air up these tires. We got 3 to air up. That one is holding air perfectly fine. see if we can persuade this handle to shift. Reverse would really be nice. Pulled right through. We're gonna have to have a new cable. That one's froze up. Oh baby. We have a little bit of brakes, but not much. Oh, there we go. Well, she goes. We will get right back into the video, but I am super excited to announce that I am working with one of my favorite sponsors, SimpliSafe, to offer you guys an unbeatable 60% off discount on their new security systems. SimpliSafe recently launched something amazing. It's called Active Guard Outdoor Protection. Traditional systems only alert you after someone has broken in, but with Active Guard, the system detects suspicious activity on your property before any damage is done. Using advanced AI and live monitoring agents, SimpliSafe can stop intruders before they even get inside. Agents can speak directly to them, activate sirens and spotlights, and even call the police if needed. The SimpliSafe system is super comprehensive. You can arm and disarm it right from the app. View live camera feeds and get notifications about any unusual activity. No other home security system offers this level of active protection both inside and outside. Plus, with no long-term contracts, it's affordable at around $1 a day and super easy to set up. I decided I needed a good home monitoring system after this one night in particular. It was around 11 p.m. at night and I was walking out to the garage when I look over and see two random people in my backyard. Of course, I had no idea they were there, and if it wasn't for me turning my head when I was walking outside, I would have never known they were out there. That's when I decided to get SimpliSafe, and I cannot imagine my home without it now. Save 60% on your SimpliSafe security system when you sign up for a select professional monitoring plan and get your first month free. Visit SimpliSafe.com/Braden to customize yours. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. The old guy who owns this property just left. He's really hard to catch. And that's a shame because I was really wanting to see if he would sell me this welder pretty cheap that's been sitting here in the woods, barely covered up. It's empty. Old Hobart welder, I don't even know. MIG welder. I wonder if he would take $100 for this. How's it going, Donald?
Pretty good.
How much do you want for that welder?
$250.
Daggone, boy, you trying to retire off of me?
Nah, I'm trying to give you a hell of a deal.
150. Here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 20s, 250.
Y'all going in the trucking business, looks like.
What do you think, Donald?
I think
Good idea or bad idea?
you're going in the trucking business.
Going in the trucking business. Do you think this thing will make it home?
Oh yeah,
You don't even know how far home is.
it's a Honda.
It's a Honda?
It's a Yamaha.
Were you
I
riding this
believe in
thing?
you.
Were you riding this thing around when I was gone?
I never did ride it.
Watch out! Will my $100 four-wheeler make it all the way home with that battery that's just hanging there? Tires that look like they're about to bust if you look at them wrong. Fellas, we have an adventure ahead of us. That tire needs some air in it. Did we run out of gas? I hope. No, we have plenty of gas. Why you died? Uh-oh. Don't stop recording. Whatever happens. Pastor Mike.
What you doing?
Making a YouTube video.
Are you?
Yep. I just got this running after 20 years and now it died. Trying to drive it home.
We get a chain to haul you home? That'd be a great video.
That wouldn't be as good as driving it home.
I know, but still, if I can drag you home, I want part of the problem.
I'm sure you do. Go, girl, go. I'm gonna choke it. See if that fixes it. Why did it just all of a sudden quit? I'm thinking maybe the spark plug is fouled. We can't really think of any other reason why it would be doing this. We're not getting any spark. So the plug might be fouled, or we've got something else going on. Well, the four-wheeler just decided to shut off when I was trying to move the camera on the truck, and it does not have any spark. But I don't have any test lights or anything to even think about beginning to diagnose this thing's electrical system, especially since we've got other people's modifications. We've got this start switch here. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to tow this thing home. I didn't want to, but we have no clue why this thing's not getting spark, and I don't have a test light or anything with me to figure out what wires do what, if they're getting voltage, if they're not getting voltage. I'm gonna go home, get my trailer. In the meantime, hopefully someone steals this. I meant doesn't steal this. Free four-wheeler. He didn't hear me. That'll be good. All right, that's good. Let's see if we can get our overpriced welder to work. First look inside of our abandoned Hobart welder. Not as bad as I was expecting. We've definitely got some corroded welding wire here. This door won't close. And I think it's because of this in here. Golly. They've added this big spool on here that sticks out further than the door. We'll have to take this off. We'll also have to replace this welding wire, of course. But before I go plugging it up, I've noticed that this plug is destroyed. See that there? I'm gonna take this cover off so we can get access to this cable. I'm gonna have to replace the whole cable. Oh, there we go. This is the first time I've ever taken apart a welder. Okay, so we've got 3 wires coming into the machine. This green little guy here is the ground, and then the other 2 are each 110. One of the 110s is going here to this board, and then the other one is going to this little box here. We're gonna disconnect the 110, disconnect the other 110, if I can get it. There we go. Disconnect our ground. Dang, that thing was on there. This thing is in there. Goodness. Goodness. New cable going in. And we need to figure, this is gonna go here. We'll loop here. Leave a little spot so I know. $110, $110, and our ground. I'm gonna tighten up this clamp. This will keep the cords from being pulled out of the machine. That way we'll be yanking against this instead of the actual boards. There we go. Now instead of yanking on the actual cords, we're yanking on the body of the welder. So here's our new connector we're gonna wire up for this welder. That right there is one cramped plug. Tighten the cable in. Okay, I'm gonna blow out all of this dust and these spider webs, and we're gonna see if this thing will fire up. All right, new cable wired in. Got a new plug on the end. Let's hook this puppy up and see if she runs. Moment of truth. Did I get scammed? I think it's running. All right, so it's not just the fan that's running. We're also getting power throughout the entire system, including our capacitor. See how that big metal band there is hot? I'm revving my welder. All right, let's hook up a new whip to this thing because mine is destroyed, and see if we can get this thing to weld. I'm definitely missing a big old washer that's supposed to go like right here. Oh well, we'll just run it a little bit. There we go. It's actually closing now, sort of. I'm gonna clean up this cover, throw it back on, and then I've got this piece of scrap metal from that old air compressor that we brought home, and we're gonna run us some sick beads, boy. I would love to just pressure wash this, but it is pouring rain outside. It ain't as good as it's gonna get. You finish the rest. All right, I've got flux core wire in there, which means we don't need gas, which is good because I don't have any gas.
I've been welding 85 freaking years. I missed my firstborn child's birth to go to work and lay some beads. You're about to see some of the sickest beads ever laid in your life.
I need proper ventilation. I can't tell if that's good or bad, to be honest with you. But hey, it welds. That's a heart. Golly, it's getting smoky in here. See that heart I drew? That's for you guys.
I'm the best freaking welder in the country.
Okay, that's about all the welding we're gonna be able to do tonight because it is getting smoky in here. But let's see how I did. I haven't touched a welder in a very, very long time, so they're not bad, but they're actually pretty terrible. I don't guess Donald scammed me. We got a $250 welder that works perfectly fine. I'll have to refill that bottle and try some air gas welding sometime. It's got some racket in there. I think that's just a fan or some vibration. I don't really know. I looked this thing up and I'm pretty sure it's from like 2003 maybe. Now I was at Rural King last night and I was looking up to see how much it would cost to replace one of these. And a new one of these welders with the cart is almost around $1,000. It is older, but for $250, I think we did pretty good. As for the four-wheeler, it's got a little no spark issue, so I'm gonna have to mess with that sometime, but this is gonna be it for this video. I have another video coming soon. If all goes as planned, I'm supposed to be buying an abandoned supercar within the next 2 weeks, but I don't know for sure yet. We'll see.